So I'm seeing this graph. I'm seeing this expression. This is out of the rational function section in the textbook, and we need to write an equation for this, and similar to what you asked. So I've got this graph. I know it has a 0 at +4. I know it has a 0 at -6. I know that there are vertical asymptotes at -4. I know there's another vertical asymptote at -5. I know there's a horizontal asymptote at 7. I'm going to pretend that's right there. So what I'm seeing is a graph that has to approach 7. Looks like it's approaching it from underneath. Actually, I'm going to fix that. Oops, I guess not. So I'm going to have this graph. I know there's vertical asymptotes at -4 and at -5. I know there's a horizontal asymptote at 7, so I'm going to pretend that's there. I know there's zeros at +4 and at -6. So what I'm seeing is a graph that's going to look something like this. It's going to cross through the x-axis there, and it's going to approach -4 like that. And this graph is, I'm going to have to, because of the way my screen is, probably not exactly like that. And then they aren't telling us anything about what's happening in between -4 and -5, so I guess that's not an issue, as long as it's defined there. So I know I can't divide by 0, so that tells me I'm going to have factors of x plus 5 and x plus 4 in the denominator, because when it's -5 and -4, there's a vertical asymptote. I know these zeros at 6 and at -4, at -6 and +4, and so that means I have to have a 0 in the numerator. Now the only way I can get a vertical asymptote at 7 of y equals 7 so I'm concerned about infinity, not what's happening in here in this very short range, but we're looking for the long run behavior, what happens way out at -1,000, +1,000, or bigger. So I'm noticing here that if I FOIL out the numerator, I'm going to get an x squared plus whatever. Same thing with the denominator, so that's going to give me x squared over x squared out at infinity. Remember, the other terms don't really matter. That's 1. So the only way I can have this be equal to 7 is if I multiply that whole thing times 7. So I'm just going to stick a 7 in front of that, and that should graph it. So now the only trick is to make sure that when you enter in the parentheses and everything into MyOpenMath, if this were a MyOpenMath problem, that you would use enough. And I would certainly stick parentheses around these things. Then I'd go divided by, and then I'd put parentheses around that to make sure that all gets entered right. And then make sure you click preview.